Hello, mate. I don't know why I started off with an Australian, really bad impression of an Australian accent. I'm sure you guys are judging me hard right now, but that's besides the point, because today's video is about night photography and I'm super excited for it because I got the chance to hang out with one of my really good friends, Chris Howe, this guy right here. Absolutely talented, incredible, amazing person. You guys have to meet him someday. Just an all-around awesome dude, and I love going out and shooting with him. We always have such a good time and we always learn and teach each other new things, and it's just a great time to be able to hang out with your buddy, especially with what's going on around the world. It makes it hard sometimes to stay inspired on your own. So about a month ago, him and I decided to go out and venture into downtown Toronto. It was a rainy evening, so there was an abundance of reflections and colors and lights and the opportunity to create really unique, moody images. And of course, me and him bounced on the idea of that. So we went out into the city, we shot a whole bunch of stuff. We talked about night photography, which you're gonna see in this video. And we kind of created just a day in the life type of style of a video, which I hope that you guys will enjoy. After this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a whole bunch of notes and I'm gonna put them up on my blog website with the images so you guys can learn a lot more about night photography. Because in this video, I'm not trying to teach you guys. This is not a tutorial. This is just I'll look over my shoulder, see how I approach photography, see how Chris approaches night photography, see how I go about editing my images. I don't want to talk too much. I think a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory, which I think you guys will definitely be able to observe in a different way, and that might be fun. We'll test it out. But when it is on my website, be sure to leave your comments so I can answer some of those. And speaking of websites, I want to take the opportunity to thank today's video sponsor, Hover. I also want to challenge you guys at home to create your first website and to finally get the domain name that you've always wanted. If you aren't familiar with Hover, it's the perfect place to get your domain name, and with it get leading customer support and free Whois privacy. Having Whois privacy will allow you to really feel a lot more secure with your website domain. It allows you to feel comfortable without worrying about spam and all the other noise that comes from running a website. Hover offers no upsells and a clean user interface. They also offer a connect feature that allows you to connect your domain name to many website builders with just a few clicks. They offer over 400 domain name extensions to choose from, including all the classics and fun niche extensions. And today they're offering 10% to you guys off of your first domain. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity. All the details are down below in the links.
Sir, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm trying to get some nice bokeh balls.
Bokeh balls?
I'm trying to catch them all the bokeh balls. We're out trying to find wild bokeh balls right now.
What's up, everyone? So Chris messaged me earlier today and he's like, yo dude, let's go out and shoot, because there's a crazy rainstorm here in Toronto, and you know what that means. When there's a crazy rainstorm, there's a lot of bokeh balls out in the streets. So here we are in downtown. We're at Richmond and Bay Street right now. Chris is right behind me, and the goal is just to capture a whole different variety of night photos, and then we'll show you guys what we end up taking.
Yeah, I'm also really curious on how Alen works, and I think the best way to learn is to surround yourself with other photographers who are better than you. This is my praise. You're so good. I'm really curious. I want to watch Alen work because I feel like that's the best way to learn and grow your skill set. That's just my opinion.
I'm watching him as well, so this is a double way of learning. He's just too nice.
Alan's too likable, guys.
No,
it's his dang smile.
Don't listen to this guy. With his naturally curly hair that's just falling, Superman looking.
Oh, just a natural fall.
Just a natural fall.
All right, guys. So tip number one of night photography is being spontaneous, meaning that you do not put any standards on yourself. Meaning that you do not have any expectations of what you're going to capture. You're just going to go out. You're going to take your camera. You're going to take one of your good friends. You're just gonna get lost in the city or wherever you are and just try to capture the best content you can, and just be paying attention to small details. like Chris and I, we were like getting really close and uptight to like, you know, small little water droplets, these reflections, you know, the building structures, trying to really understand what is reflecting light and what isn't.
You get any good shots so far?
Kind of. I always find that you have to just like explore for a while before you're gonna start getting any photos, because I don't want to like go and shoot what I think I've seen in the past. I really want to push myself to try to find a new composition or keep an eye out for something that I'm like, oh, I haven't really seen this before, so I don't think I got anything yet. I want to keep pushing a little bit harder.
What do you think about photoshopping night photos? Because you know how you can like change them up a little bit?
Yeah, I don't really have any issue with like manipulating a photo or doing any Photoshop to them. I think if you can tell a story and it requires you to use Photoshop, then tell that story, because it depends on how the stories that you're telling and the storyteller that you are. So like, if you're somebody that's like, I need to be authentic and raw, then don't Photoshop. But if you're somebody who's like, nah, this would be better because of Photoshop, then use the tools that are available to you.
So if there's anything I've noticed while taking night photography, is that you really have to be patient with yourself when you're trying to compose your image. And it's always looking for obscure things or things that might be missed during the night. You're gonna see a lot of things that are very well lit, but sometimes within that, you know, really lit environment, you might find some nooks and crannies of other options, such as like when you get building facades, and you know, there might be every single window covered with lights, but there's an option to really, you know, maybe black out a couple of those windows and draw emphasis on a specific part of that building itself. Or in an alleyway, you know, you can dim down an alleyway such as this. So you can really create some sort of emphasis in an alleyway by just making sure that when you're in Photoshop, you remove some lights, you really darken some corners, and you manipulate the photo, and you create that really cool, moody, dynamic image.
We got rain!
It's raining!
And we're so happy. We're so happy that it's raining. It was like a big storm earlier, and we're like, oh, this would be the best night to go out. And then it was all dry everywhere. Dry. So we're just like stopping and talking to some people that noticed that, you know, they're fans of what we do. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it started pouring rain. We're so excited.
While we're talking.
While we're talking, just getting drenched. And we're like, 1 second, the light is looking incredible right now. We're gonna go take some photos.
I mean, that's one of the biggest parts of taking night photos, is try to find interesting things to really change it. And rain really adds to that. And I did a video with Peter actually in New York City about rain photography. And I also did another, I think, night photography shot with rain. It makes images so much more interesting and dynamic and colorful and just like really pop. And I think that's part of the big win when it comes to taking photos, is try to find something that's very different.
Just like the rain even going in front of the car lights looks so good.
One thing I'm really addicted to taking pictures of is reflections on the floor, especially like near intersections, because you get like the street lights, like here for example. The green, red, crazy tones right there. Oh, look at that. Whew.
Where are we, sir?
We were walking, and there's just like this white room with perfectly diffused light. I was like, we got to do something with that. So like, walked up here. I was like, Alen, just like pose against here. Do your thing where you look great in photos. So he starts posing over here, and what we noticed is that we have like this warm tungsten light over here mixed with like this cool light. So you got tungsten, these old school lights, really warm, and you got these like bright LEDs that are on this side of the street. So when you mix the two together, you got cold and warm, which makes for like a really interesting photo. And then we have this massive key light right here that's diffused, like literally on this wall right over here, we have diffusion panels in between. So now you have big light source blasting on me, it's diffused, so it's nice, it wraps around the skin nicely, and then you got in the background, you got nice textures of the building mixed with like warm and cool. I think this is probably gonna be like some of the best photos of the evening.
Yeah,
honestly,
I agree,
it's
man.
so sick.
Good?
Yeah, buddy.
That is some good tea. All right, back to topic. So, night photography. The do's and don'ts of night photography. Well, the do's: get a good friend and go out and shoot together. So you have company, so you have someone to bounce ideas with, you have someone to use as a subject, they can take pictures of you, you can stage things. It just makes the experience so much better. The don'ts: don't go out by yourself. I think it's very important for you to capture night photography with a buddy. During the day, I definitely think it's fine, but when you're out in the night, it's a safety thing. It's also just, you know, having company and being able to experience that part of the creative aspect with someone else and be able to give feedback to each other. Other do's and don'ts are that you have to be prepared, but don't over prepare. I think that when you go into the night, it's a time to relax. It's not a time to overwhelm yourself with lugging around a whole bunch of gear, your drone, this, tripod. Just bring your camera and a lens and just test it out. See whether or not you're comfortable with shooting at night, or if it makes sense for you, if this is something that you enjoy doing. I think these are very important things to start off with. A lot of people I used to go and shoot night photography with were lugging around so much stuff, and then you have to drop it on the floor and then take the picture and then pick it up. Just bring your camera, your lens, and get out there. Simple, okay? Got it? Cool. So what did we notice when me and Chris were out shooting? Well, we noticed that light is a very important feature to obviously capturing night photography, but details like, you know, water droplets on speckles of glasses were very important. We noticed that there's contrast in colors. So you have to start listing things in your mind as you're seeing them and be able to create a storyline around them, or to be able to create some sort of feeling in your images based on those things that you're noticing. With light, you have a great opportunity to really captivate your audience's attention, because light allows you to pull focus on certain things. And as an audience, it's very important to be told what you to see sometimes. Although being abstract is amazing, but sometimes you need that in order to guide you in the image. And when it comes to details, it's really about noticing how important it is not to just see the big picture, but really see the smaller one as well. And when it comes to color, it's just about understanding contrast, understanding how you can create the most moody and beautiful image possible. And for portraiture, this is a really important thing to focus on. So while you're watching this video, be a little bit observant of these things, because they do play a major role in how me and Chris went about taking pictures in the middle of the night. Well, that's all for today, guys. I do hope that you did enjoy the video. Be sure to follow Chris on Instagram and YouTube, and be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Leave your comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. I know I try to go and read all the comments, and it does inspire me for future videos. And if you do have any other suggestions for videos, I'm happy to, you know, listen to some of them. I'm actually in the process of hiring a full-time video slash editor. So if you know someone in Toronto or the GTA that you recommend, holler at me or leave it in the comments below. That is definitely something I want to do this year, and possibly get a studio, because I'd love to take this YouTube experience that I'm having and really create something amazing with it. And I think that I have so much information that I'd love to share with you guys, and sometimes I'm being held back by the fact that I don't have a studio space. So that being said, leave your comments, and I will see you guys all very soon. No next week, because I don't know if that's possible. Peace.